Hey, Zach, you know what we're going to talk about today?
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about MVPs. We're going to talk about Claude hating itself. And we're going to start by me putting you on the spot.
Oh, okay.
You're listening to AI Fueled Growth, where smart entrepreneurs learn to grow faster with AI. Hosted by Ryan and Zach, this show discusses AI and how to build your brand and business. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to another super exciting
So exciting
episode of AI Fueled Growth. Zach, you know what's going to make this extra exciting?
What?
Your presence.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm flattered.
And here's why.
Okay.
What are you using AI for in business right now? Like, what business use case are you using AI for most?
I have a role of running the social media and in turn kind of just digital presence of Outstate Brewing Company in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. On the banks of the Otter River.
I was just going to roll it.
I beat you to it.
Dang it, you beat me to it.
There you go, Pat. That was for you.
On the shores of the beautiful Otter River.
I love that one.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I run the social media for that, and I have just redone their website. So I've been using it a lot for content, writing captions or taking captions that I've written and say, you, in the project that I have, you have the Outstate brand voice dialed down. Can you put this in that voice? So I'm not having it write every single one, but I am having it look at it and see if it's consistent to things that I've written in the past and what the digital voice of Outstate should sound like. And so doing that for the website as far as, descriptions of things and just the paragraphs you see on the website and captions. That's been most of it. I have used it to have some inspiration for posts because I've been, over the last month, I failed last week, but trying to post 5 times a week. And when there aren't events happening or there aren't other things, that can become really monotonous. So trying to keep it fresh. What should I post? I want to post something about this. How do I make that fun and fresh? What have other people been doing, kind of thing. So that's most of that is just that conversation of brand voice with ChatGPT.
I think that is still one of the most used, but also one of the best used versions. And I mean, we talk about it a lot, and we should, because it's where ChatGPT, especially Grok, maybe even more, depending on how you use it, really excel is in creating that content.
Yeah. Because
they're pulling from this massive database of other content, right? So they can improve. Mm-hmm. But it is something like you can't just blindly use what it says,
especially
right?
Not after updates.
Especially not after ChatGPT-5. We'll dig back into that. But I do think talking about that brand voice, though, and that consistency and making sure you get results, that was a tweet I saw recently. A tweet on X. I think they're still called tweets.
Are they still called tweets?
I think so, yeah. But
I guess what do you change it to?
Yeah, but was talking about, it was a hypothetical scenario, I think, but it was like the boss says, this copy all sucks. And the intern says, well, we fired all the copywriters. We just have ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, well, you need to go refine it, right? Yeah. But having that brand voice, not just blindly taking whatever it gives you, is extremely important. You talked about in your prompt example you gave as the brand voice. Mm-hmm. Going back and reviewing, does it actually know?
Yeah.
The brand voices.
Because there's been many times where it has not, or it has pulled from other projects, or especially with Update, we'll get into it. But it's pulled from other projects, or it's hasn't been consistent, or it sounded super different, and so making sure to call it out. And there'd be times, honestly, where I will just say like, okay, after 5 chats, if you still not telling it this, but in myself, like having 5 chats, if it still doesn't have it down, like I can write it. Yeah. It may take a little bit more time for me to do it, and then putting it back in and being like, this is an example of what this should sound like. Remember that, pull from that later kind of thing. So helping it update, but also just taking it in my own hands sometimes.
Yeah. There is, I wish I had this pulled up right now, but I mean, from a prompting perspective, like just also to blindly expect good results is on us, right? Like you need to give it what hat is ChatGPT wearing? You need to give it direction of you are whatever. You are an expert copywriter. You are Gary V. Or you are whoever. Like you need to give it some direction, right? And then you need to ask what you want for it. But then you also need to give it guidelines too. Like I want under 50 word or an Instagram. It does understand an Instagram caption versus a Facebook post. Like it does understand that, but you can give it even deeper guidelines like that. And you get way better results when you do put all those pieces into your prompt. Yeah. Versus just saying, it's fine to go in and type and say, I need an Instagram caption for this image. Yeah. And it's going to spit something out. Ooh, is it good?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sometimes no.
If it's ChatGPT-5, it is not good. It is
not good, and we have learned that.
But it's getting maybe a little bit better. We talked last week that I had done, and I'm going to pull it up here quick. I switched over to Claude during the initial. ChatGPT-5 was so bad it was unusable, so I switched over to Claude. But speaking of the blindly following, I recently had this conversation with Claude where it was about keywords on an ad that we were running. We touched on that last week, and then we went back to review keywords, and the recommendation was to replace all the keywords we had.
Okay.
Which is fair. There's times you're going to do that, right? Yeah. But I asked Claude, I said, why should I trust these keywords if the last ones were so terrible? And he came back with you're absolutely right to call me out. I gave you keywords that were too specific and hyper local. And then I went back, and it was much longer than that. But I said, so why should I believe you now? And Claude said, you shouldn't blindly believe me. I just gave you keywords that got 0 impressions. Here's what I'd do if I were you. Use Google's keyword planner or hire someone who actually runs successful Google Ads campaigns.
And that's good advice, I will say.
I appreciate the straightforward response. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But Claude then proceeded to not give me anything else. Okay. He just gave up.
He's like, I'm done.
He's done. He washed his hands of that. So
that's funny.
I will say that the new updated list for this specific campaign that this chat was on from ChatGPT-5 have been very successful already.
That's good.
So if you're doing keyword planning, use ChatGPT, not Claude. I don't know. Yeah. But I think Claude, that's a balance of things. And the last Monday newsletter that we did compare Claude and ChatGPT in regards to creating campaigns or just overall usage. And I think it's pretty accurate that Claude is way better at analysis.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is probably the winner in just like overall usefulness.
Yeah.
But Claude for analyzing or doing analytics on anything does seem to be way better. And so it's just like any other toolbox.
Yeah.
Choose your right tool, right? And then unlike any other toolbox, the programmers might upload something that just absolutely ruins your toolbox.
Yeah.
Or it's like you lost your toolbox out of the back of your truck while driving down the highway.
Yeah.
Just to keep the analogy going.
Yeah, I
don't know, but yeah. So, and completely ruin your life for a few days.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe we just shouldn't be that reliant on AI.
Well, there's something I always said, like, that doesn't replace just actually doing work like I'm hired to run the social media. ChatGPT is not hired to run the social media. I use it as a tool, and I use it when I need an extra thing. But there are plenty of captions that I can write myself, and I do. And when I have something more specific to say or just something quicker, it's really good for generic things. So I'll use it for posts that kind of are filler, add some flair to the timeline, or that are just like, hey, it's Friday, come drink kind of thing. But I think there are plenty of things that it's a good assistant for, but also things that it's not a good replacement for, you know?
Right.
So
I would say in general, like when it comes to social media, there's definitely the engagement component. Not every post needs to be engagement.
Yeah.
For those of you throwing out stupid ideas just to get people to click on.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be engaging. It's social media.
Yeah.
You're supposed to communicate back and forth. That in general, AI does not seem to get.
Yeah, because that's very human. That's a very human thing.
Yeah.
And at its core, and it's obviously social media, we can have all the opinions we want. Right. A lot of them are probably true about social media, but you know, at its core, it's a human based thing, and so it's not gonna get that as well.
No, on that note, though, ChatGPT-5 side, I talked about how I'm now paying for Claude in addition to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Pay for Grok. So now I'm paying for 3 tools.
Nice.
Right? I'm having chats across 3 tools. And there's times where I want to go back and get something, or I started a brainstorming session on one side, and maybe I thought I need to carry this conversation over to Claude just to see what I get for reactions on that side. It almost is like having multiple people to have the discussion with, right? But then you want to go back to it.
Yeah.
And you used 2 out of the 3 tools.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it named the conversation. You don't remember what day you had it on.
Yeah.
Right? So are you doing anything to how are you keeping track of those things? Are you only using one tool, or what are you doing?
I'm just using ChatGPT. I've used Perplexity a few times.
Yeah.
I can't remember what for specifically. I think it was when I was frustrated with 5, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, but mostly ChatGPT. So I have for different projects, I have everything in there, and I usually I don't do a whole lot to organize them. I usually just start a new one when I need a new caption and just say like, use only this project. And I've had to unfortunately say that a few times.
Sure.
But use only this project. Remember the brand voice, those caveats that I put on it. But and then specific things, like I did all of the website stuff in the same chat, so it stayed consistent. And I think I have one for captions, so it's not super organized, but yeah.
Because this is an AI podcast and an AI newsletter, I decided I'm going to try and vibe code.
Nice.
I'm vibe coding now. Now, like quick background.
Yeah.
Zach, this is what do you millennials call? No, you're Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z. Yeah.
You're Gen Z. What do you Gen Zers call like the deep background? Is that what it is? I'm gonna give you some.
I don't know. T. No, probably just background.
I learned how to code HTML in the late 1900s.
Yeah,
you didn't even know HTML existed in the late 1900s,
no,
did you?
I've just always grown up with HTML.
Yeah, it was way before, but 1998 was when I learned how to code HTML.
Yeah.
It's still the same.
Yeah, that is surprising.
It's not that. I mean, you got fancy coding now, like there's JavaScript and all that stuff. CSS is way beyond me, but the base HTML is pretty similar. So I'm like, I'm going to work on a project that's actually kind of HTML based, because then I can understand what the vibe code wrote and see if it's right.
There you go. That makes sense.
I'm also trying to see how APIs work with AI and testing some of that stuff, which I don't know how on any of it. I don't understand it. So I'm using AI to learn.
Yeah, there you go.
But I got this cool project I'm excited about.
Okay.
We'll release it. Hopefully, here's the direction I gave it. Now, this was last night at like 11 o'clock, and I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Nice. So you were pouring.
I was past. I said I got 5 hours and $50 to build this.
Nice.
Okay, I got a web page up. It's not done and working yet.
Okay.
But literally, that was 10 minutes of it to create this page. I need to tie it into the APIs. That's the part I'm learning about. But I'm going to time it. I'm going to see. 5 hours. I only have about 15 to 20 minutes into it so far.
Okay.
What do you know about MVPs?
That they're very important most valuable players. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm referring to minimum viable product.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's the that's the terminology I'm learning from doing this.
Okay.
So I'm trying to spend my 5 hours and $50 to see if we can put together a minimum viable product.
Okay.
I have tons of questions so far, like what keeps someone from ripping off my idea?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's the likelihood that I ripped off someone else's idea? Right? I have no idea. But we are going to put this together. It's going to be a way to search your AI history, and we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else you need to add this week?
I don't think so. We'll just let people know when that's out.
Sounds good. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.